What's going on, you guys? Theo here with the big review, back yet again with another King of Fighters Allstar video, and in today's video we have some very exciting news to go over, as we have the announcement that the Rite of Passage will be officially closing next week with the BS Volume 3 update and be replaced with the Chapter of Fight. And speaking of the Boss Syndrome Volume 3, we have to react and break down a trailer because they have revealed both BS Igniz and BS Original Zero, and boy oh boy do they look awesome. So we are going to take a look at that trailer and slow it down and break it down and take a look at the closure of the Rite of Passage and the announcement of the Chapter of Fight dropping next week. But before we do all of that, make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump into today's news. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is going to be the advance announcement of the Rite of Passage closure, and as you can see here, this was posted this morning, and CM Yuri is telling us basically that with the 628 update, Chapter of Fight will be introduced and will be replacing Rite of Passage. We knew Rite of Passage was going to be getting replaced thanks to a previous update from CM Yuri on the forums, and if you had watched Saturday Chat and Chill when we tried to sit down and establish a timeline of events with all of this new stuff, we had predicted that this was going to happen, and thus far that video is holding up very, very well. Almost every single thing that we had predicted has been coming true, with the exception, of course, of them dropping a new Boss Syndrome banner on our heads. But everything else, as far as the timeline of events, has pretty much shaped up. So, as you guys can tell here, the Chapter of Fight is looking like the name they are sticking with. I still think it's about as generic as they possibly could have gone, but hey, you know, I guess it really doesn't matter what they call it as long as the actual game content is good, so that's really what matters. Now, pretty much what we know in here is going to be a lot of reiteration of what we had already been told. Now, we do know that we will be able to use our Rite of Passage coins until the maintenance, so we're going to have a little over a month to use our coins. So basically what you're looking at here is the Rite of Passage coin exchange shop is going to be going away on the eve of the Collab / anniversary at the end of July, so we have plenty of time to exchange those if you guys happen to have those laying around, because I know that a lot of people out there do not like Rite of Passage and have pretty much left it in the dust a long time ago. I personally don't mind it too much. I don't find it fun by any means, but I still play it in order to get a few extra hammers a week. But then again, I do admit that it can be anti-fun for quite a few people. So that is pretty much what we were looking at there. Not a whole lot else to talk about when it comes to this. Again, this was stuff we had largely already kind of figured, so very cool to know that we are going to be getting confirmation on the fact that we will get that new Chapter of Fight next week, because boy oh boy do we need new content. Now, when it comes to the big stuff, let's talk, guys, because we have a reveal trailer, and we are going to go ahead. I'm going to let you guys watch the trailer in full, and then I will meet you on the other side, and we will slow this thing down a few times and try to discuss what it is we see here, and also gush over the fact that both of these characters look sick.
Igniz. 最強の力。忘れの。
So a lot of people had been theorizing what they were going to do for the designs of these characters, since there really wasn't a whole lot in the canon they could do to change them, and boy oh boy, I do not think that any of us could have predicted they would look this damn good. Man, that Original Zero is looking sick. We're going to talk quite a bit about both of these characters here, but then when you get to the Igniz, he's also just looking completely awesome here. So regardless of your feelings on the way things have gone as far as the release windows and the timing for these banners, you have to admit how cool both of these characters look. And as we take a look at this trailer here, there's quite a bit to dissect. So as you can see here, this is going to be the BS Igniz's new 3PG finisher, and it is looking pretty darn good. I'm assuming that that is not going to be dodgeable, but we'll have to wait and see what it is looking like under the hood when we get the actual card. Now, when it comes to this new 3PG here, this is also looking really, really cool because as you're about to see, we are summoning BS Chrysalid into the fight to help out. So these are going to be your new cards. Those are looking like the 3PG arts. That is going to be your card set. And then, of course, the option card. So a lot of really cool art here. They always knock it out of the park with this artwork. So let's discuss what we can tell from this. So basically what we can predict, and I'm going to talk about the cards real quick. So I think based on previous releases, we can pretty much assume at this point that the new card set is going to be a reiteration or a remake basically of the City of Darkness and the Gears of Fate set, with the exception of the fact that on that PvP exclusive effect, instead of disabling either the strikes or the blast skills like the previous two sets, this one is going to have the ability to disable grab skills. And then when it comes to the actual option card, I believe that that is going to pretty much look like what we have seen with the previous BS option cards in the past, being a cooldown reduction card that is also going to have a separate effect that is going to have the chance to buff your grab skills. Now, this is something that you can pretty much assume just based on previous releases, and that will be very good news as far as that is concerned when it comes to that option card for Chrysalid, because BS Chrysalid will definitely appreciate a option card that is going to give him just that much more damage output. But that is something that I think is pretty much a lock. And like I said, with these actual characters, they are looking absolutely sick in my opinion. There is nothing here that looks bad to me at all whatsoever. And regardless of how we all might feel about Netmarble as a company with some of their decisions and some of the nearsighted things that they do, their art direction for this stuff always looks really, really cool, and it never feels like it's borderlining on Mugen stuff. So yeah, I mean, Zero Original here. Is anybody else getting Power Rangers vibes from those shoulders? Like, I'm feeling like Green Ranger, White Ranger, like I don't know, something about him is just looking very Power Rangers to me. But none of it looks bad. All of it looks really, really cool. Both of these characters look absolutely filthy, and I get the feeling that we're probably going to get characters that are going to be direct counters to Nightmare Geese Guild Raid. That is just my assumption. I could be completely off base, but I would be shocked, and no pun intended, but I would be shocked if neither of these characters, if not both of these characters, had shock and or poison on their kits. I'm assuming that at least shock is going to be involved with one or both of these characters. I mean, just look at the electricity all over Zero here. I mean, come on. It's looking like a foregone conclusion, but we'll have to wait and see. And with the cards, if they are going to be reiterations of what we've already seen, but with grab skills, then they should be pretty sick, especially that option card. But that is what we're looking at, guys. June 29th cannot come soon enough for me to pull for these characters, but let's go ahead and hop back to the home screen and we'll talk a little bit more. Well, there you have it, you guys, the latest Boss Syndrome release trailer. So again, both of these characters look absolutely awesome. From everything I am seeing from the community, everybody seems to be in the same boat with this. They seem to be very impressed with the overall look and design of these characters, and I admittedly was a little bit nervous about how they were going to handle them, again, because there were very few things that they could do to really change the design of either of them, considering the fact that they really don't have a whole lot of canon changes to their actual designs, and they did a very good job with what they had. So good on you, Netmarble, for releasing another set of characters that looks absolutely fantastic. As far as your overall scheme of things when it comes to the way you handle these banners, on the other hand, you're still getting a failing grade. But your art design, it's on point. Now, one other thing I do want to point out, because I've seen a lot of people throwing this around, and it's something that bears mentioning in this video. Now, a lot of people have discussed the fact that with the new Epic Quest, that we're probably going to be getting a 3PG finisher for Original Zero and Igniz, right? A lot of people have theorized on this based on previous data mines that are a year or plus old at this point, and a lot of people are touting this as being an absolute fact. Now, I am not saying that it is not going to happen, and nor am I saying that it has a good potential of happening. What I'm saying is a lot of people are going to tell you don't pull on these cards because if you're free to play, there's a good chance you will get those 3PG finishers with that Epic Quest. However, do not consider that to be set in stone. We do not have confirmation on that. That is something that we can kind of sit here and predict in some sort of measurable way with some sort of confidence, but it isn't something that we know for a 100% certain. So if you're someone that is a super fan of either of these characters, if either of these characters happen to be one of your personal favorites and you are free to play and you are banking on that, don't consider that to be fact. It is an educated guess, and it does have a very good likelihood of happening. But at the same time, if these are some of your favorite characters, I would hate to see somebody take that risk and then be disappointed. So just keep that in mind. There is a chance, but it is not a guarantee. But that is pretty much my opinion on all this stuff, you guys. Let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about it, because in my opinion, these things are looking fantastic. And again, regardless of how we feel about Netmarble's decision making when it comes to releasing this stuff, you can't doubt the fact that they are always going to come out with a banner that has characters that look really, really good. So that is my 2 cents on all this, you guys. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. And for all of you who are wondering, yes, the Q&A got pushed back another day because of BS or SS or limited banners in general. So at this point, the meme is real. So I will be back tomorrow with the Q&A, considering the fact I don't think we're going to get any more news overnight. So I will see you guys in that video. You all take care. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Continue.